Grand Rising, family, Grand Rising. Black Feniks checking in. Today, I just wanted to talk about how to be a black father. There was no manual. I was thinking about that all week this week, actually, about how we get so much misleading information, not having the right role models growing up, not having fathers around, or having providers around. Grand Rising, family, Grand Rising, but not having a good provider around or someone that could give us the instructions. I was thinking about the role models, the male role models that was in my life, and a lot of them really didn't. There's a couple of them came to me and tried to talk to me and give me some good advice, but it was a few of them only led by example. Like, it was the things I seen them do that I was like, okay, that's how I supposed to move. Watching my grandfather, I learned a few things from my grandfather early. Um, I learned how to be independent, um, to be an owner, to believe in God, and to have a faithful relationship with Him, and to love women. That's what my grandfather taught me. I remember my first encounter. It was so crazy because I remember the first day I attended kindergarten in Arkansas City, and my grandfather came to pick me up. They had a school bus to come through and drop everybody off. And my grandfather was fortunate, and he had a vehicle, and he wanted to come pick me up every day. So he came down and picked me up my first day. And I remember jumping in the car, with my backpack, and putting my seatbelt on. Him asking me, how was my day? And I was telling him, and the first thing he asked me, he said, "Grandson, you meeting the girls today?" I said, "Yeah, Papa. I met two of them." And he stopped the car real fast, kind of like he hit something, and he said, "Two of them, grandson? You got to do better than that, grandson. You got to do better than that." Now, this is my grandfather telling me this at, at this mature age, you know what I mean? I'm young, I'm in kindergarten, and my grandfather telling me this. No. We don't listen like we should when we're young, fam. We really don't. And sometimes we take things literally too. Some examples, and I know my grandfather had good intentions, but from the gate though, he taught me to love women, and to believe in God, and to be an owner. He owned his home, he owned the land it was on, and a lot um, beside it. Um, he had his own vehicle. He was an owner. And then he taught me how to have a trade. He was like a taxi in the town of Arkansas City where we was living at the moment. And then he was also a barber, and he taught me how to cut hair as well. And that was my first trade, family, entering to, a tradesman. My grandfather taught me how to cut hair, family. And I'm going to tell you, by the time I was in the fifth and sixth grade, for sure, I was cutting good hair. Like, I was making money. People was having me cut, my peers' hair. I would go over their house and make money, and their family would, pay me to cut it. And I was doing good. I used to keep them up, and then, I just kind of laid it down. And even once I got out, I used to help the homies out and just do it just to, help the homies out, and his sons and stuff, you know what I mean? When I was in Newport. So, I've always assisted and helped with the trade. And even now, it's ironic that the first girl, I'm gonna tell you, this is a real ironic story. The first, the first girl that I met in kindergarten, who was actually, when I said it was two of them, was a twin, and I actually cut her son's hair now. And it's just ironic that I'm still using the trade on the son's hair of the person that I first met when I was living with my grandfather. So it's just an ironic story. I just thought it was funny. Yeah, original mobile barber. Yeah, it's just ironic. It's just a small story, but I was thinking, family, how how to be a black father, we don't really know. You know what I mean? Like we really have to get some instructions, and growing up, I didn't have one at all. Like I can't tell you no positive thing that my dad taught me. I only learned by examples of what not to do, what person I didn't want to be. You know what I mean? By what I seen him doing is, by not coming around, by putting his hands on my mother all the time. Things that I seen that I was like, hey, I don't want to be no part of that. I don't. The fights and things I seen. It was never no good things. And to this day, family, I have a dad, you know what I mean, but I've never had a father though. I've always been the one just doing my own thing or looking up to some role models that I seen that, hey, I want to, do what he's doing. And I remember when I was in prison, I took some parenting classes and I learned some things about parenting, but it wasn't until I actually got out here and realized certain things that's in a book is different when you actually dealing with your kids and you going through this generation. And a lot of times, family, what I realize now, we allow the schools and the internet or the phones to raise your kids. You know what I mean? Besides you actually raising them, they getting a lot of information now. So if you being a parent and you're not controlling that information or making sure that it's filtered, making sure it's legit, then there's going to be a lot of conflict. But I remember, thinking how I just been trying to figure it out, family. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just been trying to be the best father, and I remember apologizing to my oldest daughter, even though I've been with her, helped her graduate. She went to cosmetology school. She finished. She can do some things. She's just trying to figure out life. And when things got rough, I gave her my mom's house and family. I'm just now going down there this weekend, and I've been working on it. I've been down here this weekend, and family, it's been real. And I realized something that I heard one time, but this weekend it really hit me hard that if a person don't earn something, they won't respect it. They'll devalue it and reject it, family. If they don't earn it, they won't respect it. They won't take care of it. They won't, they'll figure that what you give them was devalued. Like, oh, that's, they'll straight devalue it. You know what I mean? So I realized that I understand now why certain millionaires and billionaires, I see how they don't leave their kids certain things. They give them certain things, and then the rest of them they put in the trust and they give them to the foundation because, just because you had 10 kids, probably only one or two of them, follow the mission. It is what it is. But I realize how sometimes, family, if a person don't get out there and hustle and bustle themselves, and they ain't gonna respect it, family. They ain't gonna respect it, and you have to just be humble enough to realize that, and still love your kids, but you got to realize that they had an opportunity that you never had. Like what I did for my daughter, no one never did for me. You know what I'm saying? My mom left me a blessing, and I had to get it. After my sister just straight demolished it and left it for ruins, and I had to come in and save it. And in the midst of saving it, I went through a divorce, and lost my family, and lost businesses, and like family. I went through it, trying to save the house, and then once I get it up, I give it to my baby, and she ain't respect it. You would think most people, you would think if you was in the city, fam, I'm gonna just throw some numbers out there. If you was in the city and just say you in the top city and you spending $1,200 in rent, and you got a brand new car payment, and you got to pay insurance, right? So you can do the math. Them numbers high. I give you my house. I say, hey, get on your feet. The bills don't exceed $300. You about $300 a month unless you just running some stuff up, you know, internet, water, electricity, and you just feeding yourself. You would think you have an opportunity to come up, huh? You get on your feet, you'll be able to do. But if you don't come up in that situation, family, then it's not someone helping you. It's you helping you. Then you realize that a person got a problem they need to work on, but they'll point the finger at you like you wrong. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I ain't never had a daddy do me like that. Like move out and put himself in the bind where he had to sleep in his car, so that way I could be good and make sure I was good. My dad never did that for me. You know, my mama would have did it. My dad never did that. You know, so I might not know how to do everything, fam, and we might say some things wrong, but fam, I love by actions. You know what I mean? You know, I try to, tell and say, yeah, I love you. But sometimes, being black and coming from the hood, all we know is the love by actions. I know I'm going to be there for you. I know how to sacrifice for you. I know if things get hard, I'm willing to go without for you. Like I'm willing to jump in the trenches. That's how I show my love. I put my life on the line. That's all I got, you know. And one thing that I used to despise about my dad, he lied a lot, all the time, for no reason. I was plenty of times sitting the kid on the porch, just like I'm sitting right now, waiting on my dad to show up that my mom said was going to come and never seen him, fam. I never did that to my kids. Never. Anytime I told them I was coming to get them, I came and got them, fam. Every time. If I had to drive 21 hours, which I had plenty of times, and got them and picked them up and got them, I always kept my word, because my dad never kept his word with me. You know what I mean? So, and yet and still, you reach at an age where I'm at now, I'm 43, and I'm still trying to figure out how to be a father. Still trying to figure it out. Even though we give our possessions, we give our strength, and sometimes you feel like that's never enough. But like I say, there's no manual to this, you know what I mean? We just have to learn it as we go. We make mistakes. And that's one thing I can say, fam, when I stumble, I don't have no problem with saying, man, I messed up, man. I heard Boosie say, man, players mess up too. Hey, we mess up, man. My bad. You know what I mean? I don't have no problem with saying, you know what, I was in the wrong. I should have handled that different. But I won't be like I never did anything wrong. I'm not that type. I'm not that person, But I am this. If I'm right, I'm standing on it, and I ain't budging. You know what I mean? Just because you feel some type of way, you can throw a temper tantrum. You know how they say a kid will cry and throw a fit, whatever, to keep from getting in trouble when they know they did something wrong, but they want to make you feel bad. Nah, you can throw a temper tantrum. You still in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You know how it go. You know. But today, fam, I was just up this rising, fam, and just a lot of stuff was just hitting me. With the repairs I got to finish doing at mom's house, and saving it a second time, and just trying to figure out how to be a father, not seeing my son, my middle daughter, I kind of had to cut ties with her for a second. Sometimes they get to smelling themselves and get beside themselves, fam, and I love them. If you at the stage in your life now, if somebody's disturbing your peace or they causing turmoil, you just got to step away. It don't matter who it is. And I just value my peace right now, fam. So, I spend a lot of time just like this alone, and I'm cool with it, because, you know, we don't know how much time we got, and I want to help all I can, fam. But while I'm here, I want to be at peace, though. I don't want to be troubled and bothered. Let me check out some of the messages. I see a few messages popped up. Nah, they sure don't need that phone 24/7. Yes, if they don't earn it, they don't respect it, family. Boy, they something else, ain't they? Yeah, fam, that's what I'm doing now. I just, when when you got a teenager that's, and then you can't raise someone in another household if the mom don't have any principles and don't stand on nothing, and you can't put rules in someone's house and you're not there. So, I was actually thinking of something the other day, man. I'm just gonna share it with y'all. I was thinking about when me and my first wife separated. I was gonna have my daughter with me, and she wanted to be with me. I got her all the time, but the reason I didn't take her from me because of her mom's, mental state. and I didn't want her to harm herself, family. I didn't want her to do nothing. So, because her mother harmed herself, you know what I mean? So I figured, I know it was in her DNA, and I ain't want to take no chance of my daughter losing her mom. So I didn't want to take her from her, even though I felt like she had been better with me on all levels. But I let her stay there, and she's been good. She's smart, but she's, you know, she's something else, family. You know what I mean? She's smart. She's taking care of business in school. She do that, but very disrespectful, very loose lip, uh, very entitled. You know, I don't know where that come from, but it's a new generation. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, man, some things you just have to just let it work out. And like I say, when things fine tune, I love her. I'm still paying child support, so she getting money. So I just not communicating with her right now. But I'm cool with that though. She's 16. I'm cool with it. She'll come back around. You know, I love my baby. You know what I mean. But sometimes you just gotta let them grow up. And like I say, in the meantime, they might point a finger at you at a bad father, and you like, damn, I ain't even had one. I know I'm better than what I had, and I'm trying to be even better than that. I ain't even trying to compare, but I know I'm giving way better than what I was giving to me. Yeah, yeah, I just got to keep it rolling, fam. It get real sometimes, because we don't know as a father, and then my son, he's getting up there, and that situation is so crazy. It just like it feels so much like a catch-22, fam. I swear, it's like I don't like. It's just it bothers me thinking about it sometimes. But all I can do right now is just keep doing what I'm doing. At the school, teaching, getting my stuff together, catching up on this child support stuff. Then I got to go back to court. The crazy thing is, the child support that they took, I don't owe, but I got to go back to court. I got to pay to go to court to fix it, and I know all I'm gonna get is a whatever they do, give me a credit or something. So I got to pay to fix the problem and still be in the hole twice. Boy, I tell you, this system is a catch-22, fam. It's a catch-22. You know, that's why I enjoy helping kids and helping other people kids, because I ain't having no more. That's for sure. I got 3, and that's all I need, fam. And 2 grandbabies as of now. So um, well, 4 actually. 2 in marriage and two of my own, but I got 4. Shout out to them. One in Colorado. I forgot the name of that town he's in. Um, by Pueblo, I think, a little bit of town. And then the other one is in Rogers, Springdale area, Bentonville area. Um, yeah, man. We don't know, fam. We really don't know. We wasn't given no sit down instructions. But I want to say this for the record. That's why I'm blogging like this. And because we need to talk about things like this. We need to actually talk about it. We need to hold discussions and implement things like this into our training, because a lot of our young black men, our young man don't know how to be man. We only see certain things. We think what we see, and we realize now that they are programming us. And the majority of things you see are not healthy or good for you. It's so crazy. I got this app, and I'm gonna have to find its the name. I think it's called Yuka. I don't have to find the name of it, family, but it's spelled funny. I think it's YUMA. Look the app up. It should be like a carrot on it, like YUMA, a carrot or something on this app. And you scan this before you buy your food, because a lot of times we say we eating healthy, and you'll read something just off looks. Ooh, this is healthy. It says this is all natural. This is full of this, and you scan it. This stuff say it's terrible. No, and you'll see what's in it that is banned in other places. And man, family, it just shows you how They lie to us all the time. So even if you think you're going to the grocery stores, you know, buying healthy food, you're not. You really got to be cautious on everything now. And so that's why I feel like, you know, being a father, man, we had to get better information and start implementing it, and just being humble and talking to other men, and really, you know, being there for our kids, not beating our kids, but disciplining them, and giving them instructions, and being able to hold realistic relationships. Because this family, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, you know, I got out of prison, you know, after doing this 10 years, and received my oldest daughter that was like 10 or 11 at the time. And I, her mom sent her down here to visit, and I supposed to kept her for the school year, then sent her back. I never got a chance to send her back, fam. My mom passed. So it's been me and her. You know, I had to figure this out, fresh out of prison, after doing all this time, fresh family, married, made up another baby, which is my 16-year-old. You know, man, I can't believe it's been 16 years. Honestly, time flies. But all this was going on, you know. And I was just thinking about, man, I'm just trying to be a father, fam. Yes, that's it. That's it. Add that to your phone, family. Everybody add that. I'm telling you. That's right there is going to help you a lot. Scan some of the stuff you got in your refrigerator right now. If it's got it in the closet, anything you got, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to show you the good things you can buy. It's going to show you what's wrong with it. All that good stuff, fam. And the crazy thing is, it just blows my mind how we are misguided, and that's what I'm saying. You know, we are misguided in so many ways. And when if you look on the media, you know, like we was talking about how to be a father, you get to see some of this stuff they telling us, man. That stuff don't work, fam. It just look good, just like the stuff you getting, and we think is good stuff, and it ain't good at all. You know what I mean? We got to really experience it or get it from someone who have lived. See, that's why I realized how important our black elders was, how important it was for them to keep the memory alive. See, the black elders was the ones that raised the kids, because the kids that was coming up, they didn't know the stories completely. They wasn't listening, so the elders had to give it to them, so that way they'll have it, and then as they grow, they'll keep it. And the older ones would network with the elder ones, so that way they can pass on the instructions, and we'll remember why we march around this certain tree a certain time, because 10,000 of us was killed right here in Slaughter. We remember that the first Memorial Day service was held by us in South Carolina, in Charleston. That we remembered the first soldiers marching around, like, but we don't know our history, and it just bothers me, man, fam, that, you know, as we learn, people tend to knock you because you trying, fam. We don't know, like, we've been so, you got to think, we're in a colonialized system that it literally beat us and gave us new names. We living on their names. I ain't really Joe Brown. That's my name on a piece of paper. That's my government name, Joe Brown. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. That's my slave master's name. You know what I'm saying? I'm still carrying it. I got a social security number. I'm still connected to somebody, you know. So when I renamed myself Feniks, Feniks, and Black Feniks, I gave myself a purpose. Yes, it was. Salute, salute. Do your homework, fam. It was. We started it. We started the Memorial Day service. That was started by us. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Do a little research on that, you know. And the crazy thing is about it, fam, we don't be knowing this stuff. Just like how to be a father. We don't know. How to be parents. We have to learn, you know. And as we learn, we like, you know what? With your first child, you like, you know what? I'm gonna be better with my next. And your third, you like, I'm gonna be better with that one than that one. And sometimes the last one get the best of all. And some of them look down like, I didn't get this, I got this, I didn't get that. Why you treat this? But you was learning as you go. You made mistakes and you got better as you went. And now they mad that this one gets something, a privilege or more attention they feel than they got, but they really got more than what you got all put together, you know. So it just sometimes family just feel like a catch-22 when you raising kids, when you just trying to be a black man in this society, fam. I'm gonna tell you. I was thinking the other day, I was talking with my friend, with my classmate, and we always have some table talks, you know, what we gonna call them table talks. Yes, we are disconnected from our wise elders, and we need them back, fam. We need them back, you know. But you know, some of them, a lot of them are still here. Some of them has shied off because how violent and how people don't want to be recommended. They don't want to be rebuked. They don't want to be checked. You know, I said something to a youngster, and I've said, family, you know, she had the audacity to say, why you call yourself checking me through a text? Now, me personally knowing myself, I'm like, she wouldn't have told me that in my face. She wouldn't have said that in my face. But she'll say it through this message. That's how disrespectful they are. And it wasn't even no real disrespectful thing. I'm venting on something. And the situation could have been handled a whole lot different. But these kids, fam, you know, these millennials, 20, you know, from from I'm gonna say from 15, 12 to 15 to, you know, 25, 26, 30. Boy, I tell you what, man, you know, it's just different. It's just different, fam. You know, so we have to lead by example. And it's so ironic that I remember going to prison. A lot of them youngsters always had rude awakenings because they'll get down there, family. I've seen them get slapped, beat up, took advantage of, right? Because they don't know how they so disrespectful. They think they tough. But boy, when you get around somebody that's really tough, you tend to switch things up real quickly. Yeah, they'll cuss you out for trying to help them. And then once they in a situation, they'll cry for you to help them. You was like, I told you this 10 times. What's gonna happen? They'll do it and then they want you to go save them. Hell nah. Leave them, let them figure it out. You know, that's why, you know, the four messages that I loved of the prodigal son was he literally had to eat in the swine. He had to eat with the pigs. His dad didn't save him from doing that. He had to literally go through that. So you got to let your kids go through that. And then once they wake up, like, you know what, I could have been a whole lot better if I'd just stayed at the crib. If I'd just listened and they'll humbly come back and you gonna accept them. Yeah, you still love them, but you gotta let them go through it. I remember my mama told me. She said, "Little Joe, you made that bed. You got to lay in that bed. Ain't nothing I can do. You did that. I'll be here to support you, but you got to lay in it." I had to do them 10 years, family. You know, my mama told me about doing certain things, but I wouldn't listen. You know what I mean? So, you know, and the crazy thing is, family, I understand because having that man role and having a father's role is so important because I remembered I listened, even though my dad wasn't there. When he was there, just presence, just his presence, I feared him. I had a sense of fear, a sense of reverence. But family, when my dad wasn't in the household, my mama didn't have a chance. She tried. She didn't have a chance. And that's how I know how these kids is, family, because just by a man being there, it's a it's a different respect. They still gonna do certain things, but it's just it's just different, family. And like it is, even if he a piece of shit man, you know, even if they say, oh, he ain't nothing, just by him being there, that child is gonna act a certain, it's gonna be a little different, fam. It's just what it is. Salute, salute. You found it, fam. You know, it's just so ironic how we have to experience certain things to really understand what it means now, you know. And I'm still trying to figure it out, family. I don't know, you know, but I do know what being a black father isn't, you know. And I do know that we have to learn from our mistakes, and I know that it's about sacrificing. And I know that I'm willing to make sacrifices. I'm willing to sacrifice for mine. I'm willing to lay my life down for mine. I'm cool with it. Like you know, I feel like, you know, in my personal opinion, you know, we just got good and bad energy, and I feel like, you know, I'm good energy, so I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna be able to pass that down. What you said, Queen, what you said, just by being there. Like, just by being there. I done seen dudes that was sprung out on drugs, but he'll come home at a certain time when them kids get there, just to be there and make sure they did their little work. And he had his own thing, but I respected the fact that he helped that mom just by being there. The kids went to bed. When they went to bed, what he did, because he wasn't even there, but he was there with them, and it helped that mom a whole lot. He probably had his issues, but family is important. It's so important. And that's why I understand why they systematically took us out the household. That's why they took the black man out. Why you think they gave the and see and it hurts now because most black women think, now we know, especially the older women, they know, they waking up saying, man, I understand what they did. They took the black man out so that way they could cripple us and give us like, oh, we independent, but we living off the government. If we don't do what they say, we can't have it. And if you think about it, certain households, certain people brag, oh, I can get a house, I can get this, yeah. But it's based on them providing, not on your income base. And the black man, we can't even do the same thing. So it's just crazy how the system had just took us out the household, fam, and it's crippled. Look at it. And then now we got crazy statistics like over 70% of over 70% of single mother households go to prison, be addicted to drugs, get caught up in abusive relationships. Over 70%. This is statistically speaking. Crazy numbers. See what happened when they removed the man out? And it's so crazy because the kids have these issues. I remember in prison, I used to see kids and teens in there that I know shouldn't be in there. Salute. Thanks for checking in, fam. I know shouldn't be in there. And just like today, they got these autistic kids, fam. They still gonna lock them up. So if we don't go in and try to help them and guide them, the system's still gonna throw them in there because they got somebody, parents and grandparents, somebody they taking care of. It's a plantation down there, and they hiring us to enslave us. Ain't that something? In order to ensure that we're enslaved, they got to keep locking us up. Now Arkansas done made a crazy law now that you know they doing 100% of their time. It's so crazy. Family, it's like family, black man, black women. We got to wake up, family. There's so many ways to make money, man. We don't have to we have to literally create opportunity. That's why I understand now that how the real true leaders that was coming up, they got silenced out. They was like, it's about black institutions. We need institutions, educational facilities. Why are we steady going to them for education and for help? Nobody in history of mankind has let the slave oppressors educate them. Nobody but us in America. Like, we got to come up with our own. That's why, man, I salute Booker T. Washington, man. What he did is, stick. How you say it? Stikes, Alabama. I always pronounce that wrong. But what Booker T. Washington, that school that they were doing trades and educating on, and we need to have that, fam. That's why the HBUCs were so important. Why they are so important. But how we have to just literally found it ourselves, man. We don't, instead of asking for the system, and there's too many of us here to not educate our own, not want to, learn something, family. Because right now we're in the stage now, this AI is going crazy. If we don't get no skills, yes, that's it. If we don't get no skills, family, like we got to learn something. Family, we need to start talking to our kids and us. We need to start talking about learning some skills that can't nobody take away. That it just because a robot can do, a man still got to do it. You need to know how to build it. If you got to build a house, if you're a carpenter, a plumber, electrician, HVAC, We need heat and air, all that stuff. We need it. We need to duplicate. We need to be doing everything, all the main necessities, from driving, from fabricating and making things, from welding, from plumbers to construction. Man, we need to learn this stuff, because that's the stuff that throughout history the rich has always used the poor to build. So if we can control that, we can change the narrative for our people. You know, we can have some institutions. We can actually have some. You know, we can actually have some laws. You know, think of what happened to the Asians when the situation happened with the Asian. They instantly came up with an Asian hate law. Instantly, we still ain't got no George Floyd bill yet. It's just a whole lot of marching, a whole lot of Black Lives Matter, but we ain't got no law written in yet. Come on, fam. Oh, that's dope. That's dope, fam. We need to support it. Share that link. Share that link. We need to support our people, family, throughout the country. I don't care where they from, fam. If you can't get nothing but $1 a month to somebody that's literally trying to do something to help us, family, and you seeing the progress, and you can be able to be a part of it, family, be a part of it, family. I mean, you know, they got that old saying, each one teach one, each one teach some, family. We so behind. We need to be. They got a standard to say one instructor can at least teach 20 students at one time in one setting. So we need to get as much as one instructor can teach, and hit that setting hard, and make sure that everybody can get this information. Yes, a job and a trade that you can start a business on. Because ain't nothing. See, this is what I learned. Your job is a business, and then you want to have a business, and you want to have a trade. You want to have something where you are truly an asset for yourself. And whatever you're doing, if you're doing a job, it need to be something that you're doing that you truly enjoy doing, that is literally not a job. And it is possible, family. I used to hear people say it when I was young, and I'm like, man, that's not possible. It's possible, family. You know, I'm a living witness as now. You know, I'm an instructor in Little Rock, and the contract that I got, you know, I'm teaching and instructing, and it's something, family, that I would do for free. I enjoy doing it so much, family. If I had a setting to help kids, I'd do it every Saturday and Sunday. I do it for free once I get my, like. That's why in the Black House we help in Atlanta. We help from the ages of 12 through 24 at our Legacy Center, East Point, Atlanta, Georgia. If y'all ever get out there, go check out the Black House, our Legacy Center, East Point, Atlanta, Georgia. Every first and third Saturdays, every other Saturday, they have the Big Brother Anonymous there, and we help from 12 to 24 for free. Like, just come down, bring the kids. Like, just us giving time, talking to them, encouraging different people coming through, sharing their stories, their testimonies, talking to them, teaching them some trades, showing them. I learned how to tie a tie. Fam, I was in there with the kid. I'm like, hey, fam, I don't know how to tie a tie neither. I ain't never been, I ain't been there. You know, I got the collar shirt on, but I ain't made it that stage. And I'm 43 now. And I figure I get there soon, but I ain't there just yet. You know what I mean? So, fam, like I say, man, I just feel like we have to literally figure out what direction we want to go in, and just, and just make something happen, family. But we don't know, we don't literally have a clue on um, how to be a black father. We didn't get a married, fam. We just dive into it as we go, and try to make something happen, fam. But this rising, fam, like I say, I gotta stay a little longer than what I was expecting, and I think I got somebody from the walk up, so I'm gonna get ready to cut this off. But just wanted to say, fam, we gotta stick together, fam. We gotta share some of this information, because if we don't, we're gonna always be lost. You know what? They talk about that in the high schools now, and that's why they're trying to implement. I heard this one billionaire or millionaire trying to implement the trades back into the schools, to actually give the kids something to have, instead of having a regular job that they ain't gonna never get nowhere with. Yes, 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 yes. Stay blessed, Queen. Y'all be blessed out there, like I say. We just need to gain more information. And if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean? So we live, we learn, we do better. You know, that's the whole thing. But learn to be a black father is a process. You know, they ain't giving us no books. They ain't hand us no instructions. And what they did hand us straight out of slavery, you know, it wasn't something that we should have conformed to. But now, but now we know better. You know, so once you know better, you just do better, fam. So I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Hold on.